Bruce, can I say a word about the measurement? You can keep on going very close to 198 inches, which is the Old English pole. And at 198.4 inches is the Old Cromlech pole. Okay? Now, it's getting a bit mathematical, but if you convert a kilometre into inches, okay? Now, a kilometre, okay, or the metre is 1/10 millionth of the distance from the pole to the equator as proportioned by Napoleon. Okay, he had it measured. That's our metre. Now, if you convert a kilometre into inches, you get 39,370. And if you take the square root, you get 198.4 inches, which is the Cromlech pole. And we are told at school the imperial system was nonsense. It didn't mean anything. Let's get rid of it. Let's have the metric system. Look what we've just lost. The whole of your proportion of that model is where the Old English pole. It got slightly more complicated with Tom and his megalithic yard, but we'll leave that to one side.
I found the yard, I found the foot, I found the inch, I found the degree. You know, it's 100 feet, and the angle of the sun was 100 degrees, 360 degrees, 360 inches.
Just a second, but then they had 366 sunrises. They had 366 degrees in their circle, not 360. Oh. That's where the difference is.
Oh, I didn't
That's
know.
where your 1.4 inches is out.
Well, I was told that...
Okay, I think what I steal your show, sorry. But it's just adding on. You haven't got to the end yet, you're just still at the beginning.
What you've triggered, something I didn't mention, something I really wasn't going to mention, because I've not researched it yet. It's only in the realm of maybes. But it's a possibility. I believe there's a possibility that there was a pendulum at Stonehenge, and it would not be used most of the time. It would be up in the apex, 2/3 up, and it would look like a little star. It was made of glass, tinkling away, doing nothing. But on special days it would be descend, and if you swing the pendulum, after about an hour, if it keeps swinging, it moves about 7 degrees, I think, at Stonehenge. It isn't the pendulum that's moved, it's the planet below it, the Earth's rotation. So if you swing a pendulum towards the sun, and in an hour it's still swinging towards the sun. If it swings for 24 hours, it will always follow the sun. So the word temple comes from the word time. Tempos means time. And Stonehenge was a temple in the truest sense. The light, what came inside that building, how it hit the mirror. There's many, many more times of day, times of year. Different things appear, different things happen. You know, we're going to have to build a building, you know, to prove all this. But they could calibrate the day, they could calibrate the week, the month, and the year. So it was a place of time where they believed the closest place they could be to God, what we would call the hub of the world. So it connects distance and time.
As you mentioned, Stonehenge was a place of excellence and a place of where great decisions were conducted. And you mentioned that you didn't know one stone what it was about. May I suggest that if a court hearing or a great decision was made about one particular event which required in those days capital punishment, would that stone be used for sacrificial sacrifice?
Well, from what I can understand of the way that they think, I mean, I'm a gog at the level of intellect who built this place. And I don't see them scarring the place with blood and death I don't see it as a place where they would execute people. This was a place of reverence, a place of power, a place of, you know, it was their place. And you wouldn't do things. You see, every stone I've found is structural. Every stone had a reason. The stones on the outside, the Albury holes, 56 of them, suggested that there were phases of the moon. I think they were just basically post holes for an outer perimeter fence. There were simple stone posts connected up. And you couldn't see inside, but they were quite low. I think Stonehenge was so beautiful, so important, held in so much reverence. You know, only be on very special occasions would people go in there. I don't see it being a place of execution. And the stone you're talking about is not in its original position. I don't know anything about it.
Sorry, but your description, the whole thing, rings true with me. It was like you know, for many, many years I've been hunting for what were these things, not only how did they do it, but why did they do it?
Yeah.
There was a very, very good reason why they did it. And I think you're very, very close to it, because one of the things that they depended upon, these people, these self-made demigods, they didn't have very much to flash around. They didn't have Ferraris and rollers, but they had magic. I think they had magic, and I think the illusions that you're talking about are the sort of ideas that have been germinating in my head for a long, long time. If you go and stand on top of a hill during what's called cloud inversion, you stand on the very top of the hill, your image is projected on the clouds. And what you see is just a flat line, which is your shadow, and it's surrounded by a rainbow, which is the most amazing experience. I've never seen it, but I've seen photographs of it, and I've had it explained to me how that happens. Very few people would have known that sort of thing. And it's like your idea of the crystal, and the light, and the star, and all of this sort of thing. I think that was what these people depended upon to get a grip on the people beneath them. Like, so I think you're very close. This has been an amazing experience for us.
It's funny, people talking trigger things, you know. When you're inside Stonehenge and look at the apex and you can see the sun, it looks like every time I'm driving in the car and I see sunbeams, I see Stonehenge. And the roof beams, sunbeams, you know, they've created this wonderful roof of the world. They've created God. And the crystal in the apex, we've done tests with it, and it always breaks up the light, breaks out all these colours of the rainbow, and they appear in different places. So they're recreating things that are already there in nature, and the sunbeams. So, very good.
Bruce, why do you think the people have resisted, the academics that you referred to? Why do you think they've resisted and wanted to continue to defend this thing about it being a solstice temple or whatever? What's behind that, do you think?
Well, touchy subject. I went to the English Heritage Head Office. I was the only person ever to get access after years of lobbying. I went there with James Wes, the head of the Science Museum, and people from London University. There was a delegation supporting me, and we went in, and they said, "I'm sorry, but he's not available today." I won't mention his name. He's not available today. And Jane said, "But we've come from all over the country." He cancelled 7 times, and he's not here. And I went round beside of Jane and said, "I've just seen him going in pub down the road." So they brought him in, and he stood there, hand on hip, and he said, "There's never a day goes by without some idiot from the general public coming along with some stupid idea." And he didn't even want to look at my work, you know. And I've had some amazing emails. Very interesting, bye-bye. or
I just get ignored. They just ignore you.
Yeah.
It's like
So-
trying to pick a fight with a bully.
so,
You poke him in the eye and he still won't thump you. He just turns his back and walks away. That's the only way you can describe it.
David's question is, why?
Yeah.
Why don't anyone, I think it's, be honest with you, I think it's all to do with business. I think it's their marketing, their place, they're making lots and lots of money. I'm sure if this was their baby, it'd be on all the books, the films, it'd be marketed all over the world, but it's not their baby, it's mine. Well, it's not mine, it's our ancestors. Do you know, if this thing ever gets going, I don't want to be up on this. I don't want to be there saying this is my idea. I want people to look at Stonehenge, look at our ancestors and what they were capable of doing. I don't want personalities and egos to get in the way. I'm here on behalf of them. They were capable of great things. And I just wish English Heritage and all the other academics would at least just look at it. But no, for some reason, it's a closed shop.
Losers, Bruce.
Hmm?
I've been here in my business life doing things like this in engineering, and they are the losers. Because they're ignoring the truth.
Mm. So,
Well, I was just about to suggest, Bruce, that Woodhenge building, Stonehenge impossible. But isn't it nice that we can keep our little monument and charge everyone £5 every time they go through the gates? And I think they have a vested interest in money and basically quite a selfish attitude towards a cultural question that raises so many informative ideas that we really do need to open our eyes as a society and actually see what the council were capable of.
Bruce, can we not start a petition?
sorry, can you?
Can we not start a petition with signatures saying we want the truth to come out for Stonehenge?
It would be nice.
Why not?
Well,
Thousands of people, if they saw this,
Yeah.
then you just have to question it. Then, wouldn't you?
I
They
think.
couldn't ignore it then.
I think it would be nice for people to look at this. I cannot say this is the truth. It's not allowed.
No, but you
I can
can't-
say that it's...
But they can't deny that there's not something there.
But it would be good to look at. And that's what I would like people to do. And make up their own minds.
I think the solution, Bruce, is when you actually, or when a replica of Stonehenge is built, and then it will be for all eyes to see, because seeing is believing. The graphics were great, and your ideas are so very, very descriptive of a reality to me today. I had no idea before a few years ago what Stonehenge was, but talking to you and you explaining the mathematics and how you overcome these problems of not knowing by mathematics and by simple deduction, is that, to me, it must have been a building and there could be no other conjecture. It must have been a building. And that's what I truly believe. And I know that you truly believe that. And one day, I hope that the dreams come true and Stonehenge will be built on another site with different stones, but just to prove to the public what it really was and what the Celts were actually capable of.